Day 16 here in Florence. It's been quite a day. I woke up and I went to Giardino di Boboli with Kelly, and we went to Palazzo Pitti as well. And I went to both of those places last year, and the garden, it's kind of more like an arboretum. It's huge, it is gorgeous. There is a big grassy area that has a pond that's Neptune, or pond, fountain, and, well, it has a pond, right? But it's Neptune's fountain, and there are a ton of walkways and a lot of statues and a lot of trees and plants. And there's a really cool area. It's kind of like a greenhouse, and then it has a bunch of potted fruit trees like oranges and lemons, and there's a pebble driveway area there, so it's just a cute area. And yeah, sorry, I will explain why I'm a little frazzled right now, but in a good way. So we went to the garden and we went to the palace, and inside we only got to go to a portion of it because there are 2 tickets that cover that area, and we could only afford to do one. And the part that we went to is there's a porcelain museum, a silverworks museum, and the costume gallery. And so the porcelain museum has a bunch of porcelain dishes and utensils, no dolls, don't worry. And the silver has a lot of metal and precious stones in general, not just silver, and they are busts and chalices and a lot of things that I don't know how to describe that are kind of picture frames, except they're more 3D and are used to hold things like ancient fingers and stuff like that. And after that, Kelly and I went and we got lunch from Gusta Pizza. It was very yummy. We had the calabrese, and it had spicy tomato sauce, spicy salami, and mozzarella cheese, and other pizza things. And we went back to my place, and we had air conditioning and lunch, and then she chilled on the couch, and I slept, and it was a very great siesta. And then we went to the San Lorenzo Chapel, which is where the Medicis are, well, as far as I understand, there's only one that's buried there, and it's Cosimo. But he's the one that started it all, basically. So seeing his tomb was amazing. And apparently Donatello was buried there too. I didn't know, but evidently Cosimo and Donatello were kind of like best friends, which is a new fun thing to learn about. And Donatello died after Cosimo, so even though he wanted him to be buried next to him, that happened. He just didn't have quite as opulent of a tomb, but he still got to be buried next to Cosimo Medici, so that's awesome on its own. And the chapel was really pretty, of course, because the Medici didn't own it, but they sort of de facto owned it based on who they were and the influence that they had on that particular area. And after that, we went and we got gelato. I took her to another place that's new to her, and it was good. The first time I went with Courtney, and we didn't know that you couldn't pay with cards, so when we went to pay and they said no, we didn't have enough cash. So the guy was really nice, and he said that he allowed us only to pay with €3, even though we owed 5. And so I told him I'd go back with more people. So Kelly was the first trip of more people, and hopefully I'll be able to pay more. They don't have a tip jar or anything, so I can't just leave extra money there through that. So I just have to take more people, which is fine, because I mean, it is good gelato. It would just be a lot easier if I could just hand them the money to make up for it. And then after that, I went back home and I got ready for dinner, and then I went to dinner with Dr. Kreiser and her son, Matt. And it was a very fun dinner. So it's called Teatro del Sale, and for some reason it's called the Salt Theater. I don't really know why that's the name. But a husband and wife started it in 2003, and the guy, Fabio, he owns a lot of that area. He has a cafe and a trattoria, and and a few other things. He's a food person in that area. He has books, and his wife is a famous singer and comedian, and they're just like one of those couples. And so tonight we went there to the restaurant, and it's funny because they make a buffet style food cafeteria. Everybody has their tables that they sit down in, and it's kind of like a mess hall, there we go. And they make very great food, and whenever the food is ready, they put it down at the buffet, and they yell out from the kitchen window what the food is. So that's different than a lot of restaurants, especially a lot of restaurants that have food of that caliber. And so it's just an extra funny thing. And the food is great. I'll speak for myself. I loved the food. It was very good. And then after you eat, all of the tables are moved away, and you move the chairs up to a stage, and you watch a show. And I think it changed. I know the shows change, but I don't know if it's always singing or if it's always comedy or what. But tonight it was a comedy show, and it was the wife, the co-owner of the theater dinner restaurant. It was her, and her name's Maria, and she's funny. Obviously, I don't speak Italian at that level, so I didn't understand everything that she said, but the timing of how the jokes progressed was similar to stand-up comedians that I know, so it was easy to get into the jokes, even though I didn't really understand all of the words. And her expressions were hilarious. She has such a dynamic range of vocal features and facial expressions and physical movements. So even though I didn't understand the words, she was really funny with how she expressed herself. And at one point, she asked for a stranger, someone that's not from Florence, to go up on stage. And I was debating if I should go or not, but nobody else was raising their hand, so I was going to, because that's kind of what I do. And I was just about to, and Dr. Kreiser nudged me, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. So I raised my hand, actually it was this hand, and the people around me end up getting out of my way and moving me to the side so I could walk over there, and I get up, and it was really funny. She said hi. She was going back and forth speaking English and Italian. She asked me if I spoke Italian, and I said not really, and so she switched to English, and then she asked me what my name was, and I said my name is Seth, and she asked me where I was from, so I said the United States, California, Los Angeles, just because Los Angeles is easier. People know it, and also I could say that I'm from 3 different parts of the state, and I just go with the biggest part that's the easiest to explain. So, Los Angeles, and then we talked about her doing a show there, and there was some chit-chat, but at one point she asked me to help her with her show, and before she was talking about traits that people have if they're really from Florence. And she was asking me if I can help her display those. And I was like, what? No, I can't make I don't, no, this is your comedy bit, not mine. But I ended up helping her, I guess. It was funny. Actually, Dr. Kreiser got a video, so I'll try and post that in addition to this. But it was very fun to be on stage in Florence at this random dinner that Dr. Kreiser invited me to go to. And it was very funny being up on stage, and yeah, and she was really funny, and dinner was good, and I had a great night. Today's been awesome, and I'm very tired, and I'm getting up early in the morning, and day 16 has been good, and I definitely won't forget my experience. It was really funny, and yeah, so I'll try and post the video, and this was day 16, and it was a very good day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.